Welcome everyone. Superintendent Nutter here for my next webinar in this series for parents. I'd like to welcome everyone. Today we call this presentation the Blueprint of Belonging because our absolute number one goal is to make sure that your children feel safe, that they're supported, and that they're happy at school. This is not a rigid rule book, it's just a supportive plan. And we look at real information to try and figure out how we can keep our schools safe, keep students attending class, and guide their behavior in a positive way. We're currently reviewing some of our discipline and attendance policies with the intent of firming up some processes and addressing truancy and misconduct. So you will see more information coming in the near future about that. When you hear the word discipline, it's easy to think of detention or suspension, but true discipline actually means to teach. So the children are still learning how to navigate the world and their emotions when they're in school. And when they make a mistake, we want to treat it like it's a learning moment. We are trying to shift away from the old school harsh punishments. We still have high expectations for your child's behavior, but we promise to give them the high amount of support that they need to meet those expectations. So being supportive. This does not mean that suspensions will no longer happen. It means that more serious or repetitive issues may have a suspension, but education is the part of the return to school process. So just making sure that they understand what they did or how their behavior and their attendance is impacting their overall success. To keep our schools positive, we use a continuous four-step loop, which we call continuous improvement. First, we learn. We look closely at why a student might be missing school or acting out, and rather than making assumptions, we listen. Second, we plan. We plan clear rules and support systems. Third, we act by stepping in with the right kind of help. And then finally, we reflect to see if our plan has worked and ensure that the student has repaired any damaged relationships, for example, and this is just an ongoing cycle of care that we have with our students. Attendance matters so much more actually than people realize. When a child misses school regularly, even just 2 days a month, it creates a ripple effect. It directly hurts that child's reading skills and their confidence, but it also affects the classroom because the teacher has to constantly pause to help students catch up. That slows down the learning momentum for the whole class. In addition, when a student falls behind, it becomes more difficult for them to follow along in lessons at school. And sometimes students will act out to be able to leave the class to avoid looking like they don't know anything. And we want to work with them to stop this ripple effect early. And we want to work with you to help us support that from expanding into the classroom and impacting the classroom. When a child acts out or skips a class, this is usually a sign of a deeper struggle. It's like an iceberg. The bad behavior is just the tiny tip of the visible piece that's above the water. Beneath the surface, the child might be dealing with an undiagnosed learning need, a family crisis, or some kind of stress. Our promise to you is that we won't punish the tip of the iceberg. We pledge to look below and find the root cause and help fix it. We don't want to just be attendance police. That is not what we want to do. We don't want to sit and be counting missed days. We want your child to love coming to school. We look at this as a building supported by 3 pillars, and the school creates an exciting, welcoming environment as the first pillar. The second pillar is the family that partners with us to problem solve the barriers like transportation or health issues. And if things get really tough, our district attendance officer steps in to connect you with community resources. So we are all a team: school, staff, parents, and district staff. What do we actually expect from students? Well, we focus on 3 simple areas: how they manage themselves through their personal habits, how they treat their peers or others, and how they make choices, thinking things through. These aren't just rules to follow. They're actually life skills that we actively teach and encourage every single day. We know that one size doesn't fit all. We use a 3-tiered pyramid of support. Tier 1 is the foundation. It's the excellent, positive environment that every single student receives. Tier 2 is a little extra help, like a mentor or a specific attendance plan for students going through a rough patch. And then Tier 3 is intensive, specialized care for the very small percentage of students that are facing severe challenges. No matter where your child falls, we have a plan that we can support them with. Parents often ask us how we handle bullying. First, we need to distinguish between normal peer conflict and actual bullying. So understanding the definition of bullying is very important. Peer conflict is just an argument between equals, like two friends disagreeing over a game, and we solve this by teaching compromise. Bullying, however, is different. It's repeated, mean behavior where one person holds power over another. We have zero tolerance for bullying or discrimination, and we train our staff to stop it instantly. And we teach students how to safely stand up to their classmates. You may be thinking, yes, but the school does nothing about it. The school does something when they know about it. So it's important to encourage your child to report it. And if they aren't reporting it, then you can report it on their behalf. And students say nothing gets done about it because they don't see the results. I think our new processes for restorative practice are teaching students something different, and they are able to see the outcome and how it's dealt with differently. And that process is fairly new in our division, and we will continue to work through that and educate parents about it as well. The chart that you see on the screen shows examples of how we might respond to behavioral issues, ensuring that how we react matches the mistake. So minor issues are handled right in the classroom by turning them into some kind of learning conversation. The more middle or medium kind of issues involve losing some kind of privileges and a phone call home to parents. And the very serious issues where they are safety issues go straight to the administration. And we want you to see this chart so you know that our system is fair, it's predictable, and it's clear. If you're unsure of the processes at your school, it is in the school handbook. They talk about how they handle discipline at the school level in the school handbook. Safety is our absolute priority. So if a student makes a serious threat or shows some very worrisome behavior, we activate a protocol that we call ARTO, or the Assessment of Risk to Others. The core belief behind ARTO is that we can prevent violence if we pay attention to the early warning signs. We don't do this alone. We pull together a team of experts, including mental health professionals from the community, the RCMP, and we wrap around the school and figure out exactly how to keep everyone safe. There are processes in place within each school, and each school administrative team has been trained on ARTO, and they work with the division mental health supervisor and the assistant superintendent of inclusive learning as a team. If a threat occurs, this is the exact step process that we follow. First, the principal secures the physical safety and gathers facts. Second, we evaluate the risk level. Third, the school team creates an immediate safety intervention, and yes, parents are notified right away. And fourth, if the risk is high, we bring our community partners to build a comprehensive plan. We want you to know that there's a strict, careful process protecting your children from risks of threat. In the past, when we talk about suspension, we used it as a quick fix for everything. But research has proven that just sending a child home doesn't work. In fact, it makes things worse. The student falls behind in school, they feel rejected, and often view the suspension as a vacation from accountability. So simply pushing a struggling student out the door doesn't teach them how to behave better, and we want to do better than that. When a student's behavior requires us to remove them from the classroom, our first choice is always an in-school suspension. This keeps them safe and supervised, it keeps them learning, and it allows them to talk to a counselor right away. Sending a student completely home is our absolute last resort. It's reserved only for serious safety threats, and if a student is sent home, they can't just walk back into class the next day. We will hold a formal meeting with parents. We want to build a step-by-step plan for success on their return and try to work towards this not happening again. Here we show you exactly how we actively practice restorative discipline. We want to change the question from how do we punish this child to what does the child need to learn? And depending on the mistake, we move through these steps from a simple redirection to guided conversations about empathy to practically fixing what was broken, maybe some counseling or community circle. It's all about healing the school community and teaching better behavior. We want to close by reminding you of our promise. When we hold students to high standards, but we give them a high amount of love and support, our schools become amazing places to learn. Every single policy in this blueprint exists for one single reason: doing what is absolutely best for our children. Thank you for partnering with us to make this a wonderful school year. Please watch for more details in the future about some changes that are coming your way. I think it's important that we are all on the same page when it comes to attendance and discipline in the schools, and that we all understand the importance of following rules and being in school on a daily basis. I just want you to know that we do have more information on our website if you're interested in seeing more details about what I spoke about today. This presentation that you just watched was created with the help of AI, meaning it reviewed all of our policies and practices to assist me in preparing this. So you can see, again, you can go to the website and look for any of these APs. Also, as I mentioned, in your child's handbook on the school website, there are specific practices there that the school has shared with you. If you don't understand anything about your school handbook policies or the policies in your school, please reach out to your school principals. They will be able to guide you and help you understand better what those policies are and the practices that are in place. Thank you very much, everybody. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Perhaps I will do a session on restorative practice so you get a deeper understanding of that in the near future. Thank you.